how to actually finish your book. Hey there, it's Brian Dixon from Hope Books. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of actually getting your book done. What most people don't talk about is the fact that getting the book from 80 to 100% and sending it off to your editor is one of the biggest challenges of writing a book. They say that the last 20% takes 80% of the time. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through why that is, specifically why finishing your book can be such a big challenge and exactly what to do about it. So welcome here. At Hope Books, we believe that the world needs more hope, that your hope-filled words can change the world, and that what you've been through isn't wasted when you share it with someone else. So the first strategy for finishing your book is to remember your reader. Remember your reader. Remember that the only way that she can experience life change through your story is by getting a copy of your story, which means you need to finish your story. Think about that. If you never actually finish publishing the book, then she can't read it. If she can't read your book, then she can't be inspired by your story. If she can't be inspired by your story, then she's never going to change what you're trying to help her change in her life. So that would be my first strategy, is to really have compassion on the reader, to think about that you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for her. And it's from that compassion that I would share insight number two. Number two is that done is better than perfect. They say that perfection is the enemy of completion, and I have found this to be true. See, the reality is you might want your book to be perfect, especially if this is your first book, but the reality is they're not going to notice the difference. They're not. I've been going through this book by one of my mentors, and it's a book that sold a lot of copies. And I got to tell you, as I've been reading through it, it's so clear that nobody really took the time to go through it and make sure that there were really basic grammar fixes. And as a book guy, it's not that it's annoying. I can gloss over it, but it just hit me like, wait a second, this is a book that has sold like probably hundreds of thousands of copies. And yet nobody went through and just made sure that the theirs were there and the thes were not thems, and just like little errors in the manuscript typing process that nobody fixed. And it just causes me to pause to say, small grammar issues have not prevented that book from impacting my life, and small grammar issues have not impacted that book's sales and that book getting out into the hands of more people. What would have prevented that from happening? Somebody being such a stickler on grammar that they never ship the book. They never press print. They never press complete. Now, of course, okay, my purist watching right now, yes, wouldn't it have been great if somebody took an extra couple hours and went through the book? That's absolutely what we do at Hope Books. We never want you to have a book that has poor grammar. We have multiple stages of checking your manuscript before actually shipping it. But I do want to encourage you that you don't have to get it right in order to impact someone's life. You don't have to get it perfect in order to inspire them, connect to them, and encourage them. All you need to do is be faithful with sharing your message. And once you share your message, even just a little bit, don't tell all the details if you're nervous about all the details, but just tell the heart of your story and get it shipped, get it published, get it printed, and then it can impact people. And guess what? It's never too late to do version 2, to write a second book, to go into more details in a follow-up video. But if you never get it published because of perfection, then you're never going to impact anyone's life. And that is my number 2 strategy, is knowing that perfection is the enemy of done. Then it leads to my third strategy, and this is really the one that's actually going to help you get it done. And you have to set a date. You have to pick a date and put it on your calendar, and you have to tell as many people as possible. Okay, so I'm going to publish my book by Christmas. Listen, I am going to give you my book by Christmas. It is going to be your Christmas present. I want you to hold me accountable. I want you to message me every couple weeks and ask how the Christmas present is going. I want you to get excited about me handing you my new book for Christmas, okay? And you get like 10, 12, 15 people, and then you're going to be like, oh, I can't fail all these people. I have to get them a copy of my book. And so then when you're in like mid-July trying to figure out chapter 5, then you're like, Christmas is coming. And I've got these people that I respect, these people that I look up to, these people that are counting on me. And so therefore, I have to hit my deadlines. So that's strategy number 3, is to pick a deadline and make it do or die. Raise the stakes. There are so many strategies that I could share right now about how to raise the stakes. So here's an example. Literally, take something that you love and hand it to somebody you trust and say, listen, I'm going to exchange my finished book, my printed book, not my like first drafts, my printed book. I'm going to exchange it to you for this thing that I really treasure. And if I don't do it by this and this date, then you're allowed to keep it. What? It's like pawning your dreams. Okay. You're taking your dream, you're going to the pawn shop and you're saying, listen, I'm going to give you this. And if I don't return by this and this date, you can go ahead and sell it. All right. Oh, that just got heavy. Post it on social media. Share it with a mentor that you respect, somebody that you don't want to let down. We're talking the person that you're like, there's no, like, I would stay up all night. I would pull an all-nighter for this person. This is the person, or this is the kind of person that I respect so much. So for me, that would be like a leader, like a spiritual leader. If I told my pastor, I'm writing a book, it's specifically for you, I'm going to hand it to you by Thanksgiving, so be looking for it. I would work through the hard parts of the story so that I don't embarrass myself, so that I actually hand it to the person in time. So think about what fuels you, what motivates you to hit the deadline. Maybe for you, it's going to a concert, or it's going to a movie, or it's going to a wine tour or some sort of event. And then what you do is you set that goal. Here's an example. So you could book a hotel and a whole vacation, and then there is a cancellation date. Have a goal by that cancellation date. And then you give somebody the power to be able to cancel it if you don't hand them your ticket. Your ticket is your completed manuscript. Your ticket is your printed book. You say, listen, if I don't hand you a book, I want you to press cancel on this trip. And then you're like, oh, like you've got to raise the stakes. Because right now, if you think about your whole life, you've been okay your whole life with not having a book. You know what life is like without a book. And so this is your normal. Like your normal is not having a book. If you wanted to do a triathlon, your normal right now is probably not getting on a bike every day. Your normal is probably not getting in a pool and swimming laps. And so how do you raise the stakes? So you sign up for the race, you buy some gear, you commit to doing it with friends, you find ways to raise the stakes. And so what happens is going to the pool in the morning and swimming your laps becomes normal. But right now it feels so weird. Like it's so weird to imagine your life as a published author, because all you can really picture is what you've already lived, who you've already been. So if your whole life, your 30, 40, 50, 60 years, your whole life has been unpublished, 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 and now you're like, okay, but by my birthday, I'm going to publish my book. You're actually fighting all this history that's saying, no, you're not. You said it before. You said you were going to publish by the time you had kids. You said you were going to go to that writers conference, and then you were going to land an agent, and then you were going to get a book deal. You've been talking about this for a long time, right? Your results don't lie. And so you've got in your mind this idea of incongruency. I have this dream of what I want to be true, but my reality is not the same. And so I just feel double-minded. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You feel double-minded about this dream to publish your book. And so what do you need to do? You need to get single-minded. So how can you make the vision of you being a published author such a reality, so normal, that it's only logical that you live into that. And so now what you do is you surround yourself with evidence. You just like getting ready for a triathlon where you set the environment. You have to put on your Speedo and your hat, your cap, your swimming cap, and you have to have the booking at the YMCA for lane 3 for swimming, and then you have to set your alarm, and you maybe some accountability with other people. And before you know it, you are a triathlete. You are a triathlete when you decide, and you're also a triathlete when you do. It's like do, decide, do, decide. Your decisions lead your actions. Your actions help you make better decisions. So when it comes to you finally finishing your book, you pick that date, and then you ask yourself, who is it that I need to become by this date in order for this to be true? What would that version of me look like? What would published author Brian look like? What would published author Brian do? And then you start to go, oh yeah, published author Brian would wake up early and work on his book. Published author Brian would be friends online with other authors. Published author Brian would have a space in his house for where the writing goes. And so you have to set up your environment, your community, your accountability. You just set the new normal because this is who you are now. It's why I want to invite you to come join Hope Writers, hopewriters.com. It's a free trial and it's a membership of other writers who are making progress, and you get to meet your writing friends because no writer should write alone. If you meet your writing friends and you're seeing them on a weekly basis on Zoom, a daily basis inside of our group, you're becoming real life friends with them, and they're all writing, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you might have to change the people that you hang out with because those are the people that are not writing. And if it's normal in your social circle to not be a writer and you're the one writer, then it can feel really, really hard. I'm up in Asheville, North Carolina right now, and I saw a concert last night. And I was thinking about the main guy in the band, a singer-songwriter guy. And I was like, his normal is very different than my normal. Like he has set his life, he has built his life around being a musician. He has a songwriting routine. He has a show preparation routine. He has a guitar tuning routine. He has a get on the bus routine and a get off the bus routine. He has a routine of what does he say before a certain song, and how does he train the band, and how do they practice? Like, he has built a life around the life he wants to live. And so that's the third strategy for you finally finishing your book, is to look at who you want to be, what's the date you want to be her or be him by that date, and then what does that life look like, and what kind of environment do you need to set up? What kind of deadline do you need? What kind of accountability you need in order for that to be true? One of the best things that I could recommend here is to really study the lives of other authors. And this is one of the greatest things about being alive today, is you can just follow their Instagram stories and you can see what their life looks like and say, oh my goodness, they go to a coffee shop every day and they write. Am I going to a coffee shop every day and writing? They post on Facebook every day about their writing. Am I posting on Facebook about my writing? They announce when their book is coming out. Have I announced when my book is coming out? And you can close the gap between their reality and your dream. And you can make your dream your reality by looking at what they're doing on a regular basis. This is the kind of coaching that we do inside of Hope Books. I'd love you to talk to our team, hopebooks.com/call. You can schedule a free call to talk about your book with our team. We're going to encourage you, help you take the next step in your writing and publishing process. Thanks for watching. Go to hopebooks.com/call to learn more, and I'll see you in the next training.